Hey everyone, I haven't been here in forever, so I thought I'd pop on, just give a little update about what's going on with me. Um, my garden's doing fine, thank you. Welcome back. Thanks for asking, or welcome me back. Um, yeah, I even have peppers and tomatoes that survived the last round of freeze, and we'll see if it survives next week. So I haven't been on here in forever, simply because beginning of 2024. I was diagnosed with colon cancer, and that's been nuts trying to navigate doctors and tests and diagnosis and bills and anybody who's gone through it knows. And then emotions and stress and trying to keep my head straight. But yeah, so chemo. This is January. Started chemotherapy this month, and we'll see how that goes. But I've been playing an online game that's a live chat, and through no particular reason, they made me realize all the people in the chat, they're great. And they made me realize that I had some pretty funny stories, or interesting stories. So I thought, instead of just coming on here and going, wah, poor me, I have cancer, blah, 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 that I would give my cancer updates and tell a story. Now, these are going to be stories that happened to me throughout my life. Um, so it's not just going to be all bad. Um, so I've been diagnosed with, and it's up in the air, stage 3 or early stage 4 colon cancer. I had surgery, and they did what's called a bowel resectioning, where they removed my ascending colon, so basically from my stomach to my appendix, and then sewed the two ends back together. That healed well. The process went great. My little brother stayed with me at the hospital. I was only in there for 3 days, although it took but yeah, still can't lift heavy stuff. So, moving a lot of potting soil and stuff like that, heavy pots is out of the question. But that's what I've got David for. Um, what else? Yeah. So, chemo, like I said, a doctor's appointment tomorrow. We've had a hard time getting scheduled to get in to put the port in. So what they do is they put a tube, a permanent tube that goes above your heart. That way, when you go in for the chemotherapy, they fill it into like this little cup thing. They attach a pump, and you wear that pump for 48 hours while it administers the treatment, and then you go back 48 hours later, and they take the pump and everything off, but the port stays there, so that every 2 weeks when you go in, they don't have to like stick you again. But since we can't get an appointment for that, what we're doing now is a daily pill, and then you go in and every 3 weeks, and they give you an injection, an IV. So so we're going to do that until, I don't know, until they get a chance to get the schedule for the port, or we just stay on this, or who knows. I'm just taking it a day at a time and see what happens. I'm still feeling pretty good. Still got all my hair. Um, we'll see where we go from there. Okay, so stage 3 or 4 colon cancer, starting chemo, surgery's done, good, over. 6 months of chemo, and still lots of tests in between. So I'll update you as we go along and kind of let you know what that's all about, because this is all a new learning experience for me too. So still trying to get my garden going. Had a natural water filter installed on my swimming pool pond. So it's called a wetland filter. That's quite interesting. I got a new camera that captures inside a bird feeder, that captures close-ups of birds and identifies them when they're feeding. So that'll be fun this spring. Um, I haven't started any seeds yet, but like I said, I still have peppers and tomatoes that so far have overwintered well. I have cabbage, lettuce, bok choy. What else do I have? Cabbage, lettuce, bok choy, kale, peppers, tomatoes. That's about it right now for what I've got growing outside. Okay, shark story. So shark encounter number one. When I first started dating David, we used to like to go wade fishing, and we would go down to Galveston, wade fishing where you go out, you wade out in the water. I'd only go up to like armpit deep. And David, of course, he's taller than me. He goes farther out. And we're out there fishing, and you got your stringer and you've got your net and your bait and all that with you and your rod and reel. And you basically stand there in the water and cast out. And so David's out ahead of me, and we're fishing with shrimp. And David would pop the head off the shrimp, throw it back at me, hook it up, and go fishing. And so I'm fishing too. And at the time, we had a timber wolf, and most intelligent dog I've ever seen. And this timber wolf named Shadow would lay up on the beach and just watch us fish. Um, so David's basically chumming his shrimp heads at me. And I'm like, at that time I didn't know. I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, I'm just chumming. So I'm fishing and we're catching little fish. I got a couple on my stringer, and all of a sudden this big fish comes by me in front of me. And I was like, wow, thought to myself, man, I want to catch one like that. It had to be 4 or 5 foot long. I'm like, I want to catch one like that. Well, the timber wolf starts barking like crazy back on the shore. And I turn around thinking somebody's messing with the truck. As I turn around, this shark comes up and just rolls on its side, looks me in it with one eye, and goes back down. Well, I instantly lose it. Shit to the wind, take off running. What I didn't realize was when I had gone out, after I had waded out, apparently I had kind of waddled on down and I was on a sandbar. When I turned to run, I went from water to here to water to here. And next thing you know, I'm swimming. The minute I go under the water, Timberwolf hits the beach, starts swimming out to me. She gets to me. I'm swimming like crazy to get back to the shore, knowing the shark's in the water. I never saw it again, but I get back to the shore. My heart's pounding, and the dog's right there with me. And so I'm just sitting there. I never thought to tell David, shark. So he turns around. He's getting ready to turn around to chum at me again. Sees I'm on the beach, and he goes, "What are you doing?" And I was like, checking on the dog. So yeah, that was my first shark encounter. I'll save my second shark encounter for the next time. But love you guys. Peace out.